Hey guys, this is Scott Horne with the Owner Finance Network. We're going to talk a minute about how to handle defaulting buyers. Notices, foreclosing, evictions, everything you need to be thinking about when you got a bad situation going on. So if you find this video helpful, take a minute and like the video. Don't forget to join our YouTube channel at the same time to learn more. And if you have comments about this video as we go through it, take a minute and comment below. So unfortunately, guys, in business, bad things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people. Unfortunately, our borrowers do default from time to time. And you've got to stay on top of this because remember, it is your money, not theirs. It's not your loan servicer's money, it's your money. Too many investors want somebody else to handle everything for them. They want the things to be hands off, and they wind up losing their shirts and not getting their home back for 6, 8, 10 months or longer. First and foremost, create an internal policy for tracking your borrowers. For instance, in our offices, payments are due on the 1st, they're late on the 10th. And after the 10th of the month, we're making phone calls to these people to find out where their payments might be. Now, there are some mortgage companies out there in the marketplace that do that as well, but this is what we've always done. And so from the 10th to the 20th of the month, we're trying to make some phone calls in the event there's an issue. And of course, checks will slowly come in. We get a good feel for things along the way. Now, if the 20th of the month rolls by and we are holding a mortgage, we're moving pretty quickly at that point in time. And we're sending out our initial foreclosure notice. Now, here in Texas, that initial foreclosure notice is a 20-day notice to cure. It doesn't mean that we're going to foreclose tomorrow. It means, hey guys, you got another 20 days to get this loan brought current. So guys, keep in mind on a mortgage, you pay your payments in arrears. With a rental policy, when you rent a property, you pay for the right to live in the property in advance of living there. But with a mortgage, you don't pay until you've lived there for 30 days and you pay backwards. So for instance, on January the 1st, if your borrower doesn't make that payment, technically, you've already lost 30 days of interest. Come February, you're now 2 months behind. Of course, the problem is your borrower goes, well, I'm only 1 month behind. But in reality, for us as the investor, the note holder, it's really 2 months. So we're trying to stay on top of this because if you do have to run into a foreclosure mechanism, but the earliest you can possibly foreclose, you're going to be 90 to 120 days out of pocket of your money. Now, not everybody can carry a loan that long if you've got existing debt on the property. So again, learn to be proactive in what you got going on. A lot of people think they're too good to go out and handle their own collections. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if we have clients who are behind in payments and we've sent notices out, we're not hearing from them, I may actually drive by and knock on their door, or I'll send somebody by to do that. It's just how you do good collection process to take care of things. This is your mortgage, your borrower, and it's your money again. So be proactive in what you do and how you approach those items. The next thing is learning not to take lip service from anybody. Guys, talk is cheap, and they will try to sell you every story in the book. I have a situation ongoing right now where a spouse was supposedly involved in a car accident. It's been 30 days and I can't get the date, place, or supposed location that the spouse is in the hospital. And of course, it makes you wonder, did that really happen or not? Or is it just a story? Is there maybe a separation, a divorce? I don't know. But you would certainly think the other spouse would have all that information available to them. And so you got to be smart along the way. Always act from a position of control. You can always stop anything you're doing. You can dismiss anything you're doing. But the moment you let someone tell you that they're going to make a payment or do this or do that, and you stop your actions, you're just losing more time more often than not along the way. Create a policy that works for you in your office. Make sure you stay proactive in the collection process initially. Now, you need to make sure you understand, if you're holding a mortgage, what the foreclosure process is, what you can do and how fast you can move. And here in Texas again, You must provide your borrower a minimum 20-day notice by both certified and regular mail in order to cure any default. After that 20 days has expired, they have not cured that default, you can then accelerate the loan, which means now not only are all back payments due, but all principal that's outstanding is due as well. Now you're in the catbird seat because you can tell your borrower, pay it all, pay nothing. A lot of times, borrowers will come in and they want to pay a partial payment. And guys, if you accept a partial payment, it stops everything that you've already done and you have to start over again. What we try to do is we will take these payments and we will hold them in suspense. And when that payment comes in, we'll notify the borrower that we received it. We can't accept it. It's being held in suspense until they make the balance of their payments in full. And we'll see what happens from there. Oftentimes they do catch it up and bring it on in. Great. Deposit those monies and move forward. Don't just arbitrarily deposit that, because the moment you deposit and accept that money, the whole process has to start over again. You just let them buy more time for a small amount of money. After the 20 days have expired, it's the acceleration of the mortgage, and that has to go out a minimum of 21 days prior to the first Tuesday of the month. Again, here in Texas, that has to be filed with the county clerk's office in the county where the property is located and posted on the bulletin board where they direct you to do so for foreclosures in that county as well. Give yourself a few days leeway. Don't try to run up right against the deadline because sometimes if you miss about 1 day, now you got to wait 30 more days to catch back up again. Let your trustee, which may be an attorney, it can be anybody else who's knowledgeable on how to handle foreclosures, handle that auction for you. And oftentimes, if you are the successful bidder to buy that property back, because in the owner finance world, so often there aren't many, if any at all, bidders trying to buy that owner finance property at the auction. So if you're the lender and you become the successful bidder in repurchasing the home at the auction, now you've got to go to the next level, which is the eviction process. One thing you've got to make sure you realize is, and you read your deed of trust, to make sure there's a provision in that deed of trust that says that in the event of default, the borrower becomes what's called a tenant at will and sufferance. It's an important provision that has to be in your deed of trust. Now, by the way, guys, in most standard deeds of trust, that's in there. You also want to read your deed of trust as to what the notice provisions are. Some deeds of trust say that they will follow the laws in effect at that time for the state of Texas. Great. Then what I just laid out is how that happens. But sometimes you might have a longer notice, a 30-day notice. For instance, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac type mortgages, if you utilize one of those, have you providing the borrower a 30-day notice to cure. So know what those provisions are properly, or make sure you use a proper attorney who is sending out a proper notice to cure for yourself and then accelerating things along the way. After you have bought that home, guys, and you have gotten it back from the auction, I like to make sure I am providing a 3-day notice to vacate to the then defaulted borrower. And that is a requirement under the Texas Property Code. That should be sent by certified and regular mail, or you can go to the property and hand deliver it to somebody who is 16 years or older. Now guys, too many investors think that you can paste it on the front door, you can slip it in the door, and that works. It doesn't. Texas Property Code says those notices must be mailed or given to somebody of 16 years or older at the property, or posted inside the front door. You cannot just post it on the front door. It's not allowable. The only time you can do that is if there's a vicious animal in the house that has you worried about going inside and posting it on the inside of the house of the door. So hard to prove those kind of things too. So send out a proper 3-day notice to vacate, wait the proper time, and there's a thing here in Texas called the mailbox rule, which is an additional 3 days for mailing. So meaning 3 days notice to vacate, 3 days for mailing. You can go down to the Justice of Peace office and file your eviction on day 7. So time frames are important because time is money again. Along the way, this is now your home, and you have the right to have access to your home. Of course, people don't want to give that. They also don't want to give you keys to your home. But we'll send out a written notice requesting keys to the property within 24 hours. And if they don't provide it, I have the right to go and change the locks on that house. Now, if I do change those locks, I have to post a notice on the door giving the occupant, which is the prior borrower, the right to obtain a key at any time from myself. All they have to do is ask for it. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But you have to afford them that key. You can't just lock them out, unfortunately. So we do that, but sometimes that squeaky wheel syndrome helps them move out quicker. But along the way is that 3-day notice, waiting the proper time, and then filing your eviction suit and waiting for your court date to come up and then going to court and taking care of those things. But learn to be proactive and realize you go to your initial eviction court, the defendant is rarely going to have a defense because it was an eviction after foreclosure and they don't have one. But can they appeal to the county court? Sure they can. Sometimes they do that by a pauper's affidavit, which is an inability to pay the bond that the court sets. Maybe they post a cash bond. I just did one where the tenant actually paid the $2,500 cash bond to the court and appealed it to the county court because it bought him an extra 3 weeks of time. Now, I went to the county court, had our hearing. He didn't show up. Of course, we won. And now we're simply waiting for the time for that judgment to become final, which is 5 days before we can go after and file for our writ of possession. In this instance, as I said, I've already been out to the property. I'd already sent notice of change of locks. We changed the locks, posted proper notice. I haven't heard a word from him. Now, does that mean he's broken in the house? Who the heck knows? Probably is the case. I'm going to find that out tomorrow when I drive by the property and go check it out personally. Be proactive. Don't think that someone's going to do the job for you always, that you're beneath doing this. This is your home. It's your money. You're letting it sit there. Take the bull by the horns again. Go out there and make things happen. And if you will listen to these kind of things, follow this, set your internal policies, get very proficient at it. Don't be afraid to knock on the door, ask questions about what's going on. Had a situation just the other day where a sister had bought a home for the brother. The brother was supposedly living there with his supposed girlfriend, whatever it might be, and they had done pretty well in making their payments over, 4 or 5 years, I guess. And all of a sudden, we're getting 30, 60, 90 days behind in payments, and we've already got this in the foreclosure mechanism. We're sending notices as per our deed of trust because no one's told us where to send things otherwise. We reached out to the sister who bought the house and hunted down her phone number. She had no clue that the brother was behind in payments. And she came in and immediately brought the loan current, and we turned, of course, the house back over to her and took care of things. Our goal is not to foreclose on the home because you don't make money by foreclosing and reselling. You make money by doing repetition and making good deals. Taking the effort to hunt down the right people, do the right thing, sometimes working with people to buy some time will get them past whatever the situation is they're in. Sometimes it doesn't. But learning to be smart, learning to be proactive will help you be more successful in managing those defaulting borrowers. So guys, I hope you all found this video a little bit helpful. Take a minute, like the video. Don't forget to comment below. And we hope you'll come over and join our YouTube channel as well. We'll see you all next time.